when you came here as charge d'affaires. Tell us about that because it was a very short tenure that you had. And then when you left, there was a lot of controversy about that it's possibly because of your meeting with the RSS that you were told to go back immediately. So tell us a little bit about that period of your life.
Complete manufactured bakwas by interested parties. I had a great tenure here in that period. I had finished a very tough job helping a colleague, a guy named David Stillwell, run the East Asia and Pacific Bureau. And we didn't plan on it and certainly didn't anticipate it, but we ended up leading 23,000 people across, it was 14,000 people across 23 embassies. That's it, during the pandemic. And it was an extremely stressful time. We were having these 9 p.m. phone calls every week with all of our ambassadors in the field to help them and their embassies manage these early days of the pandemic. And the pandemic started in the East Asia sphere of, where we were working. And I came off of that and I was shifting gears. In the Foreign Service, you put your bids in and then you wait to see where you're going. And I was shifting gears and I was called and asked to go straight to India. I said, why? And they said, we need you to go straight to India right away. And I said, okay, but tell me what I'm supposed to do. And they said, look, the embassy had a really tough time in the pandemic. They lost people. They helped them get back on their feet. I said, great, happy to do it. So I packed my 2 suitcases, and then I was told to come in and see the secretary. So I went in and saw him. And, this was at the beginning of the Biden administration. Secretary Blinken had just come into his position, and I had helped him organize the first quad ministerial between the 4 foreign ministers. It was a virtual thing I think within 10 days of his coming into office. And then I had some Burma stuff that I had to do because there was that terrible coup in Burma. And but then by the time that we talked, it was, I think, June. And he said, I want to get out to India right away. Please help get that embassy to where it can host a visit and report back. So I came out here. I had wonderful meetings. It was a delight to see all of my old embassy colleagues. It was a wonderful experience interacting with the Indian government and the Indian Foreign Ministry. And I think within, 3-4 weeks of my getting here, we hosted Secretary Blinken for his first visit to India. And it had a very positive tone. It had a very constructive tone. I think thereafter I hosted 2 or 3 other big visits. And then I had stuff back home. My wife had a surgery and I was living out of 2 suitcases. So I said, when can I come home? And that then, in mid-August, something terrible happened, which was the evacuation from Afghanistan. And I ended up putting about 2 or 3 solid weeks of work into that. A lot of late nights, a lot of stress. And then I said, look, I got to come home. I've got, stuff with the kids, stuff with my wife. I left on no notice. So they said, sure, come on home. So one of the last things that I had programmed before I left was a meeting with the RSS. And I checked with my staff and they said, oh yeah, all the previous ambassadors meet with the RSS. And as part of being a diplomat, one of the bulwarks of being a diplomat is you meet every element of society and you hear different things about what people have to say in order to understand a country better, in order to help your nation understand a country better and to understand the relationship. So this was a routine meeting and I met them and then I went home because I had to go home. I had stuff to do. And this is when I think there was sort of a manufactured kind of outrage that came. And as a serving officer, it wasn't my job to speak up or tamp it down. Foreign service officers are incredibly disciplined about public messaging, right? So I let the controversy rage because it's not my job to tamp it down. But the notion that was the triggering sort of impact was not at all true because I had scheduled to be there for about when I had you should understand my bureaucracy to understand why this is funny. But when I was told to go out there, I said, absolutely, I'll go, but I want a firm return ticket. And I had a firm return ticket. And the meeting with the RSS was just the day before the firm return ticket. So I came out here with an exact date of my ticket home, which is why all of this controversy that was manufactured is, as I said, bakwas.
Click here to watch the full episode.